This is a brief assignment overview for English 311 Advanced Composition. This is material that I covered the first night of class when we first met, and also the third week of class, which was our second time meeting face to face. So you should have gotten this information before. You did get it from me, and what you see here in front of you is on the screen is your assignment overview, which is part of the syllabus. So you have had access to this, and I asked you to read the syllabus carefully. So this is all information I've given you before, but I know it can be a little bit confusing to keep all of the parts of our class separated and distinct in your mind and clear. So I'm just providing you with a really brief overview of how things in the class, different writing activities relate to one another. So the reading responses, this first activity right here, you have been doing these for several weeks now. This is a post on Blackboard. You are going to be responding to a prompt that allows you to just engage the reading that you did for that week. And those will really help us bring some conversation into our face-to-face class so that we're not struggling, you all are not struggling to think about what you read and what you remember about what you read. You have written up something that allows us to get conversation in class jump started. Okay, the progymnosmata, we've talked about this a couple times now. This is your activity that allows you to just exercise different types of writing muscles. So your first progymnosmata was a fable. You were supposed to write a fable. I'm in the process of reading these right now. You probably have never been asked to write a fable in a college class before, and that's the feeling that you should have about some of these writing exercises that we'll do in the progymnosmata. They are asking you to do something that's a little different, a little unusual, and you're going to see how that feels, and you're just going to practice developing those writing muscles. There might be some element of fable writing or story writing that you might find later would be useful for something else that you write or compose in this class or a different class. So each progymnosmata will be different. We'll never do a fable again. We're going to do something different every week. I think we have 7 total throughout the course of the semester. These are just kind of a fun writing exercise. The style handbook exercises are going to be, I think, portioned out in 4 distributions across the class, if I'm remembering off the top of my head correctly. There are 4 times we're going to be working with our style handbook. That means that you will read a section of the textbook. I will give you specific exercises to complete, and just like you did this first time, you go onto Blackboard and you complete those in the space that I create for doing so. We'll review some of those exercises, and we'll also think about these principles, these style principles, as we work collaboratively on our writing in class and outside of class. So you'll get to do the exercises directly, and then the idea is that you apply some of these concepts to your own writing as you're producing writing for the class, especially your polished writing. Okay, so those are some of the just weekly activities. You won't have all of these activities every week. You have to follow that schedule that I gave you, but these are going to be pretty recurring. The things that will change a little bit more are your major compositions. So we're working on the first one now, exploring an issue. You can see that the other 3, the following 3 are here, and the thing that I want to emphasize to you is that doing well on these 4 compositions, I think, is directly correlated to the amount of time you spend and the care you put into reading and responding to the assignment sheet for each of these. Okay, so I gave you a composition 1, exploring an issue assignment sheet. That's 2 pages long, very detailed. It gives you a lot of allowance and flexibility in what you write about, but it asks you to do a particular thing. It asks you to choose an audience. It asks you to write for a specific purpose, and you want to follow that. So if you have questions about the assignment sheet as you get started, as you're drafting an assignment, before you're finished with the assignment, it's really important to voice those questions to me. Okay, the inventions, you've worked on your first invention. The invention will be another prompt, but the invention helps you think of all of the possible ways that you can go about constructing whatever you have to say that will eventually go into one of your final drafts. So you'll write one invention for each of your final compositions. We've already done the first one, the invention for exploring an issue. And so this is where I use that house metaphor where the invention asks you to ask yourself a lot of different questions in relation to whatever the topic or the issue is that you're thinking about, you're researching, you're using as the basis for your composition. And so by asking a lot of questions and exploring a lot of possibilities for what's at stake with this piece of writing, you're going to hopefully, the idea is that you're going to hit upon some that are really, really good, and then you use those as kind of your launch pad into writing your final composition. Okay, so those inventions are always going to come right before we're drafting your major composition. Okay, the only other thing I'll say here is that participation is something that I think if you're coming to class and participating, that is a fantastic way to boost your participation points. And I know not everyone is equally comfortable speaking up in class, but realize we have a lot of opportunities for you to do some thinking and writing and reflecting before you get to class, so you don't necessarily have to do all of that thinking on your feet. There's ample room in this hybrid format for you to sort of reflect and think about what you want to bring to the discussion ahead of time. There are opportunities for you to participate and get participation points within Blackboard, and I think that I'll talk about those a little bit more as we get more comfortable with the overall structure of the class. So if you have concerns about your participation grade, let me know. But this is a class where you're producing a lot. I'm asking a lot out of you in terms of just trying different things, and we're working with a lot of interesting concepts and new concepts. So be active, participate, leverage the ability to use the hybrid format to sort of gather your thoughts before class, and try to join our conversation in a really active way. And if you have questions, then let me know. Okay, hopefully that helps clear things up. Let me know if you have more questions.